Okay, so hello everyone. Once again, welcome back to the Cloud with Duck series. So in this series, we are learning cloud from the absolute basic to the real world applications. Okay, so why we choose this series? Because we starting from the basics. It's a beginner friendly hands-on experience on project deploying. Also, firstly we are focused on AWS because AWS provide us much more pre-limits as compared to others. Okay, then after we'll also see the Azure and GCP. Okay, so this is the first episode of our series. It's cloud computing basics. Okay, so in which we cover the basics of cloud computing. Then after we'll move to the features and each and every deployment, and so step by step. So it's the basic. So let's start. So first is, what is cloud computing? Okay, so cloud computing is, instead of using your local servers, we'll move to the an infrastructure which is provided by any cloud provider. So you does not have to know who's providing, where the server is located, how is allocated. You just have to worry about your code, your deployment, and the your scaling and upscaling and downscaling. Okay, so it's the cloud. Okay, so in cloud, whenever you demand for more resources, it will available for you. Okay, because the cloud provider has multiple servers. Whenever you need, it will allocate it to you. Okay, so and the major thing of cloud is delivered over internet, so you can access your site from the each entire world from anywhere. Okay, the main reason is pay only for what you use. Okay, in local server you have to pay for upfront cost managing, and you have to ideal on the server for each and every time. But for cloud, you have to pay what you use. Okay, now why do we need cloud? Okay, so first thing is, you does not need any hardware knowledge. Okay, you can just focus on your code part and deploy your service to the cloud. Okay, but in local server you need an hardware management team. Okay, the infrastructure knowledge person who can manage the virtualization productions and like that. But in cloud you does not have to worry about that. Okay, the cloud hardware and the infrastructure part managed by the cloud providers team. Okay, in cloud it's easy to scaling up. Okay, so whenever you need scaling, you can just select the scaling part, and the cloud provider had multiple resources, so it will allocate new resources to you and you can just simply use it. Okay, and cloud is cost efficient for startup and companies. Okay, like whenever you're starting a new company or startup, you does not have time to hire the infrastructure hardware knowledge person to manage your local servers and like that, and also hardware cost much more. Okay, for initial starting. Okay, but cloud is does not cost you anything for hardware. You just have to pay which server you use and how much you use the server. Okay, so that's why it's cost efficient for startup and starting companies. Now we'll see on-premises infrastructure. Okay, on-premises is, you manage each and everything by yourself. You purchase physical servers and you will connected that servers and you using that servers. Okay, so let's take an example. Are you a person, you wanted to start an ecosystem like multiple sites ecosystem, so you purchase infrastructure from someone else, like a software, like hardware, like you purchase CPUs, RAM, GPU, storage, like that. You created multiple servers, you connected. Now you want to install the particular software inside that. You have to create virtualizations, you have to assign that particular company, like whenever you are company, you have to like assign particular person's identity. This person can do only up to this person can hold that much RAM and CPU, like that. So you own physical servers. Now your complete hardware control, so whatever you need to do you can do. Okay, but the first thing is high upfront cost. Okay, because you need to start your server 24 into 7. It will cost much more you, because the internet, the cooling system, the light bill, like that. It's a much more cost as compared to cloud for initialization. Okay, now the main reason is maintenance and security. You have to maintain servers by you, and the also security. Okay, so maintenance is, whenever one server goes down, you have to fix that server. If the server crashes or fails, you need to take new servers and replace that particular servers. Okay, and security is, someone else can access your server room. It will can like take your entire data and it will leak. Okay, so you have to manage security also server. And last thing is backup. So you have to backup your servers by yourself to in natural disaster your entire server goes down, at least your database is secured. Okay, so once again you need to start service, you can start with your database. Okay, but each and every will be stored inside your this server room. If this entire server room like cost crashed or like failed, so you does not have any copies, so you cannot like get back data. Okay, so it's the main reasons. Okay, now we'll move to the cloud-based infrastructure. So cloud-based infrastructure is what you does not own any physical servers, but you can just pull it from the cloud provider resources. Okay. So first reason is pay as you go model. In cloud, you need to pay only for what you use. Okay, not for entire your server. You can hold as much as more server you want, but you need to pay only for how much servers you are using currently. Okay, like you are using 30% of your server, you need to pay only for that 30%, not remaining 70%. Okay, so it's a flexible pricing based on your usage. Okay, now whenever your infrastructure has a new adding servers or removing servers, the entire infrastructure related work will be managed by your cloud providers. You does not need to understand the hardware infrastructure knowledge. You just have to focus on your code part. Okay, so this is the three reasons of using cloud. Okay, now we'll see the comparison between on-premises versus cloud. Okay, so on-premises is good whenever you want your data security. You does not want someone else to access, because in cloud the cloud provider has access to like view your data, like view your infrastructure and like that. But in on-premises you want like no one else can see my database, so you can use on premises. Okay, when you also want full control over your hardware, you want like hardware level control, yeah, physical level, so you can use on premises. So in on premises you got full control over your hardware. Okay, high, but the remaining thing is high upfront cost. You need to like invest much more money to run your server 24 into 7. Also you want an internal management team to manage your hardware. Okay, because you does not know what to do, how to do, when to do. Okay, so that's why you want internal management team. The thing in cloud is flexible scaling. When you need much more infrastructure, you can just call to cloud provider, it will add new infrastructure for you. Okay, when you want that currently my users is low, I don't want this server, so you can just pull it out, so the cloud provider will take that server back. Okay, the pay as you go model, once you like ending of month, so you need to pay only for what you use, and the entire management thing is taken by the provider managed. Okay, so one more thing you can see like that, on premise is like traditional, cloud is modern. Okay, now we'll see the like in cloud there is three types: IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. So IaaS is infrastructure as a service, where you can take the infrastructure from cloud provider, where you want the control of operating level systems. Okay, so like you go to the IBM company, you can tell them I want that much infrastructure. You can just take that infrastructure and allocate to me. That infrastructure is only belongs to me. No one else can use. Okay, so that is infrastructure as a service. You make virtual machines, you create that distributions and you use that. Okay, so in this you have full operating level control. So now whenever you need, like I need multiple system services runs on my infrastructure, I need operating system level control, so you need to go for infrastructure as a service. So now you need a one person or a team who can manage virtualization, security, runtime and operating level management. Okay, so in infrastructure as a service you need more control, so whenever you go with infrastructure service. Okay, and also we can see the AWS EC2 is infrastructure as a service. So you can create a slot for you, so you can decide your operating system. In operating system you can decide how much you want infrastructure, and the runtime, security, everything will be decided by you. Okay, AWS will only give you a raw virtual machines, so whatever you have to do you can do. Now we'll talk about platform as a service. Okay, so in platform as a service, you does not want server level control. Okay, you want to focus on your code base and deployment part, so you can use platform as a service, so in which you have no server management, but you just have to focus on your code part and deployment. Okay, and also whether you want, you can focus on auto scaling, manage runtime and security. You can manage also this part in platform as a service, or either cloud provider also manage part. So in here example we can see the AWS elastic beanstalk. It's a like feature where you can deploy your backend or like in any runtime. So here in cloud provider it's called platform as a service. Okay, so where you does not want any hardware layer or infrastructure layer control. You can use platform as a service. It's good for you. Now we'll see software as a service. Okay, software as a service is ready to use software. Okay, you can access it via browser, also in which you have like no installation or maintenance required. Okay, like Gmail, Google Docs. Okay, or you use Cloudinary or like that. So in which they're ready to use. Okay, you just have to use their API keys or softwares or like a website based access system, so you can just put in your code and you can directly use that software. Okay, that's called software as a service. Okay, like a render, you just have to drag and drop or just deploy your backend, the servers, the management, the like allocation, and each and everything will be managed by render. You does not know what is and how is it working. Okay, you just have to 100% focus on your code. Okay, so this is called software as a service. Now we'll see the cloud regions. What is the cloud regions? Is the where your clouds data centers are located. Okay, so geographic locations of your data centers. So one cloud services multiple data centers. Like we can see AWS has in US multiple servers, in India as Mumbai, like that there are multiple data centers in geographical location. So first thing is why these data centers are matters. Okay, so these data centers are matters for the like latency, users experience. So if your service is deployed on US region, whenever a person call it from India, so first time it will take more latency because the data is coming from US servers to you. Okay, like let's assume it will take 300 to 500 ms time to first time come data from US to your India. So once again, once first data called, it will stored in the Indian server as cache data. So once again you can call that data, it will take less latency because it will come from your nearest server. So that cloud regions are the ways to provide you the fastest data and in less latency, so user experience will be increased. Okay, so each region is isolated to manage like a data duplicacy less. Okay, choose region based on your users and latency. Okay, so whenever you choosing your region, you have to choose according your users and latency. If your entire users in based on India, you can choose Indian region to provide their faster data. Okay, now we will talk about availability zone. Okay, availability is where your server is available faster. Okay, so one data provider is multiple data centers. Okay, within a region, like when you talk about Mumbai, it is multiple servers and multiple places that exist like existing. So they are independent they are independent powers in networking. So when your service has single point of failure, like you obtain 10 servers, one of them is goes down, that remaining 9 will be continuing your service. Okay, and server like that server provider add one new backup server for you, that is work upon that 10 server. Okay, once that 10 server is fixed, it will come back and that backup server again goes to the backup. Okay, so this will type of service will help to improve your single point of failure. So whenever your one server, two server goes down, your entire service will go smoothly. Like you can see like that your service does not goes down until your more than 50% server goes down. Okay, now we'll talk about why these regions and availability zones matter. Okay, so first thing is high availability. As much as your server provider, your cloud provider is multiple regions, it will become your available in each and every part of the world. Okay, so then second is fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is like whenever one server fails, another server can take part of that, and that failed server got isolated because that does not affect the remaining 9 working servers. So that's why it's fault tolerance. And another thing, better performance and reliability. Okay, as much as your service is working good and it's nearest to users, it will improve its performance. Okay, and its reliability. So it's because it's less latency, so as much as users can use it. Okay, so these both are the very important things. Okay, so now we'll okay. So scalability. So scalability is scaling up resources, adding new resources, or removing that particular resources. Okay, so why we do need scalability? Scalability handles sudden traffic spike in your website. Okay, so whenever sometimes there is comes spike in your website, So server can cloud provider can automatically handle it. It can scale automatically scale up for you. Okay, and once the users get reduced, it will automatically scale down. Okay, to make your like website cost efficient. Okay, also during adding new resources to your server, it does not affect your performance. Okay, so currently your server is 100%. It will adding another 50%. It won't affect your current growth or performance. Okay, so it will work smoothly. Okay, so this is scalability. So sometimes you need more resources, it will available for you, because cloud provider has multiple resources, so it will assign new resources to you once your user base comes ideal. Okay, like it's currently is 20k. Okay, the spike comes, it will become 30k. Okay, and again after some time it will become 20k. So now that particular new server it does not want, so you can directly scale down and become an ideal service. Okay, so that's scalability. Now we move, the main topic is pay as you go model. Okay, so it's majorly used in cloud, so you need to only pay for what you currently use. Okay, so the multiple startups and companies use cloud is the for this reason. They does not want to pay for entire their service, like for upfront cost, or which servers they does not currently using. Okay, so that's why they come here is for pay only for what they are using. Okay, first is no upfront infrastructure cost. If your service does not using any infrastructure right now, so it does not want to pay for currently living your service like upfront cost. Okay, now it's cost efficient for startup and teams which are currently starting their business. Okay, because they does not have enough money to purchase infrastructure and set up their own on premises. So that's why this is very important for them to go with this pay as you go model, and it's help them. Now where cloud is used. Okay, so the use cases is very important. So startup and enterprises where they are starting their business. Okay, so they does not want to invest much more money, so they can use cloud. Okay, then OTT platform and gaming. Okay, so in that they does not know how much users can come and gonna play or watch movies or like games. So the reason is, in sudden new movies released, okay, the spike comes, okay, on 20k users, 30k users, or a million users. They don't know how many new users gonna come and watch that series. So that spike is like if they have own infrastructure, they want to like does not know how many new users gonna come, so they don't know exact amount of how many infrastructure they need to add. But if they are in cloud, so they can just pull new resources from cloud provider and auto scale their site to handle new users. Okay, so from them they does not know how many new users gonna come. They for them cloud is very best. Now banking, education, e-commerce, also for them cloud is very good options, because they like want pay as you go model. For that is cloud very important. Now we'll see the common beginner mistakes. Okay, so assuming cloud is always free. Okay, so cloud is not always free. You need to pay for what you are consuming service. Okay, it give you some amount of starting credits free for use. Okay, so once that credits ends, you need to pay for that like taking your service back. Okay, also ignoring security and cost. Okay, so firstly is you need to use that particular resources properly. Okay, so currently like using 8 GB of RAM, and you need more RAM, so you need to use according, like choose wisely services. Okay, treating production like practice. Okay, so whenever you are go code goes production, you need to see each and every managing like bills, monitor services like security and everything. You need to manage properly. You have to see the stats of your server. Okay, to make it like once your server will be like go to auto scale up to 130%, and after that you does not scale it down. Like first your server is 80% usage, then after suddenly spike come, your server will auto scale to the 150%. Current your server is 30% using, and you does not scale down it to again 100%, so it will cost much more. So you need to treat production like production. Okay, this is common beginner mistakes. Now best practices. Okay, so you need to monitor usage and billing. After each and every time you need to check your server usage, currently user spikes, user like total usage of month and weeks. You need to check this. stats. Okay, and you have to secure your credentials. Okay, someone access your credentials, it will access your cloud account, and on through that cloud account they can use your servers, okay, for their services. So once your account credentials will be leaked, they can access your entire cloud account. Okay, so secure your cloud credentials. Now is designed with scalability. Okay, so whenever you're designing your code, make it like it will be scalable in future. Okay, so whenever you need to add new servers or scale up or scale down, your code will be scalable, scale up and scale down, so it will help you. Okay, now we'll see quick recap what we learned in this entire video. Okay, so first we see what the cloud is. Okay, so cloud is basically an infrastructure which is located on somewhere else of your cloud provider. You does not know where it's located, you just want to use that. Also, you can use pay as you go model. You need to pay only for what you are using. Okay, why companies use it? Because it's easy to use. You does not need any hardware level knowledge. You can just directly start with writing your code and just focus on your deployment. And then later on we'll see the on premises, your local servers versus the cloud comparison. After that we'll see the cloud types: IaaS, then PaaS, and then SaaS. Okay, these three types, and then after we'll discuss about its like example. Now is core cloud concept learned. Okay, this is the whole is core of cloud computing. Now in tomorrow, in next videos, we are focusing on AWS. Okay, so we are starting AWS from scratch. Okay, absolute from beginner, understanding the AWS console. Okay, and then after in next video we are deploying our first real deployment on AWS. Okay, so this is the hands-on experience. Okay, on AWS. So in next video you can come with creating your AWS account. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Now we'll meet on next video. Thanks for watching.